So it looks like once again, the snake Elizabeth Warren has taken a shot at Bernie Sanders. This one being incredibly laughable. Let's check this out.
Look, I don't think anyone ought to be able to buy their way into a nomination or to be president of the United States. I don't think any billionaire ought to be able to do it, and I don't think people who suck up to billionaires in order to fund their campaigns ought to do it. I heard everyone here talking about, as Democrats, we all want to overturn Citizens United because we want to end this unlimited spending. Yeah, except everyone on this stage, except Amy and me, is either a billionaire or is receiving help from PACs that can do unlimited spending. So if you really want to live where you say, then put your money where your mouth is and say no to the PACs. Look, I think the way we build a democracy going forward is not billionaires reaching in their own pockets or people sucking up to billionaires. The way we build it going forward is we have a grassroots movement funded from the grassroots up. That's the way I'm running this campaign. If you think it's the right way to run a campaign, go to ElizabethWarren.com and pitch in $5. Because understand this, our democracy hangs in the balance. If we have to fund through billionaires, then we're just going to be an America that's going to work better and better for billionaires and not for anyone else.
So this is just really hilarious shit. And the reason why is because, first of all, she's a pathological liar, okay? That's not her identity at all. So here's what's really hilarious. So a while ago, she had called out Joe Biden for having these swanky private fundraisers, and one of the dudes who was part of that Joe Biden fundraiser was actually part of an Elizabeth Warren fundraiser that he had donated to and attended 2 years prior, because in 2018, when she was running for re-election in the Senate, she was doing those same private fundraisers, and in fact, she did a money transfer from her 2018 Senate race over to her 2020 political campaign, her presidential campaign. So that means that she has taken money from these little, these billionaires and all that other stuff, It's not small dollar donations. So that was really funny because that guy was like, dude, you're a hypocrite, Warren. I was literally at the same fucking fundraiser with you 2 goddamn years ago, and now you're calling out Joe Biden and myself for it. Like, what the hell, dude? So it was hilarious. But that's all of that's Bernie Sanders. That's not Elizabeth Warren at all. In addition to that, she literally said she's going to be taking big dollar donations in the general election. So again, just making shit up. She's a pathological liar. But she says that about Bernie, right? Because there's this smear going around that Our Revolution, the group that was started after his race, is basically like this dark money group that's helping Bernie Sanders' campaign. By the way, it's actually something that started out by right-wingers. I believe it's a right-wing group that is calling him out on this. And so there's this piece that was written by a dude from Our Revolution. He says, those who claim that Our Revolution is anything other than independent of the Bernie Sanders 2020 campaign insult our grassroots members who are doing the hard work necessary to transform our broken system. Our adversaries mischaracterize us as a, quote, dark money group controlled by corporations and the wealthy. That is simply laughable. We are advancing Medicare for All, Green New Deal, and other policies that are the opposite of corporate profiteering. It says, the truth is that regular people fund us. In 2018, 98.6% of our fundraising came from over 107,000 people whose average gift was $20.04. Organizing people and pooling the resources together is the only way to defeat the power and the influence of wealthy in America. So it's like, it's this group that's funded by regular donations, and I believe there's even a cap of like $5,000 on this. But this group is basically just set up basically to fight in favor of issues that we support, obviously, because you got to have that kind of a thing. And AOC has a PAC that she created recently, and like you need that because you have to have, like money that comes directly from the people to be able to support other House candidates who are running, And so this is independent of the campaign. They also release people who are making over $250 or who give donations of over $250. And so this is a right-wing smear that's going around that Elizabeth Warren is now playing into, which I find hilarious. I really, really find that absolutely hilarious. And actually, if you don't know how a super PAC works, super PAC is basically an organization that's independent of the campaign, but really it's not independent. And unlike a normal campaign in which there's a 2.7K contribution cap, you can donate as much as you want to a super PAC. And so then they run ads in favor of a candidate or whatever. And that was a direct result of the Citizens United case. A direct result from that was the creation of super PACs. But it goes even deeper than Citizens United. We also need to overturn Buckley v. Vallejo. And I believe that was in 72 or somewhere around there. I forgot the exact year. And basically, they did a bunch of stuff. I believe it was like there was legislation passed after Watergate that they were trying to regulate campaign finance, and they struck a bunch of stuff down. They upheld some stuff. One of the things they struck down was limits on personal spending in an election based on grounds of free speech, which is hilarious. The idea that shelling out a bunch of cash is about free speech. So that's what allows Michael Bloomberg and Tom Steyer and John Delaney, to just shell out fuck tubs of money. Because you can spend as much of your own money as you want on your own campaign. So if I run and hypothetically I had a bunch of money, I could spend all of it, which is asinine. It's insane. So we don't just have to overturn Citizens United. We also have to overturn Buckley v. Vallejo. So Citizens United really is just sort of the frosting. Although it's pretty big because of super PACs going away, that would be crucial, obviously. But Elizabeth Warren is a snake, man. She's a fucking slithery snake. And I hope that she has forced to drop out soon.